So today's my 15-mile run and it's cold. We've been getting a little bit of snow. It's February, so that's not too uncommon, but it's a little chilly out. Combination road and trail today. Also, because trail can be really hard on my knees, to give myself a little extra support, I've got some KT tape and long socks for the cold. This morning it was snowing. I had a couple of different route ideas in mind, and I decided doing one. If you're in Portland, you'll know this geography. I will put a my run map down below if you want to follow along. I ran from my place in close in southeast Hawthorne area down to the waterfront, did an entire waterfront loop, which is like Hawthorne to Steele and back, and then all the way up Salmon to Providence Park and the Mat Club and up around that into Washington Park. That uphill is a pretty steep one to run up, so it's a nice little 3 to 4 block steep training hill run right there. And then you get into the park and you have more hill getting up into the Rose Garden and up around the Japanese Garden, and then you finally hook onto the trails. So I took Wildwood Trail all the way up to Pittock Mansion, more uphill, and then back down the other side on the Maclay side and follow Wildwood down to Laura Maclay Park and over to Thurman and back through the industrial district to the waterfront and back around to finish up my 15 miles. And it went something like this. Okay, I'm like a third into my run, and I just finished my first really big hill, and it's way windier than I expected. But look at this view! It's snowing on my run. Probably the most snow I've seen in Portland all year. And the last third of my run today, we went from being snowy up in the hills to being just windy and rainy and just so cold and wet down along the waterfront. So I am glad that I did the hill and the trail, even though it was incredibly muddy and there was some difficulty with that. My pace was definitely slower than doing just the waterfront because it was so incredibly windy on the waterfront, and wind is definitely my least favorite of the weather patterns to be running in. I just hate it. It just feels like it's gonna blow you right over sometimes. It was an interesting run. It was a tiring run. It was an injury potential run. It was definitely much more slick. I've run those trails before in the mud, and what I consider the front half, the Rose Garden up to Pittock Mansion half of the trails, has some distinct areas that get crazy muddy, but I kind of know those areas a lot more because I run up and down that section. It's been a while since I've been on the other side, the Maclay side, and I was surprised how muddy that was, particularly up in the top mile coming down off of Pittock. And the spots that look like they should be really muddy really weren't the dangerous muddy ones. It was the ones that were looked like they should be just fine, were slick, and that is where I fell. Bummed up my knee a little bit, but it feels fine. It felt fine to change. I hit my head pretty hard against the ground when I went down though, so we're waiting to see if I end up with a lovely, beautiful bruise right there on my chin. So far so good, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. So it was a mixed bag of a run. It really It really, really was just kind of a mix of a run. I feel pretty decent afterwards though, and I'm still glad I took that route. I've literally done nothing today but run and watch the Olympics, and that's a pretty typical Sunday for me during training season. Just running and doing nothing else. So that's how it's going for now. Thank you so much for watching. Upcoming, I will talk about things like how I style my hair while running to keep it from getting tangled or gross, as well as tips. I'm gonna see about getting one of my training friends to guest star and come in on for some tips. So things to look forward to. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button because there's a new Running Diaries video every single Tuesday between now and my marathon.